Hey, good morning. I never thought I was going to do another one of these so soon, but here we are. So, I just got finished doing a stretch. I, in a past life, was an aerobics instructor, an aqua fitness instructor, a personal trainer. Um, and I did that for about 10 years. So, I'm telling you this because I just finished stretching and I just realized that if it was not for teaching those classes, I never would have stretched. So I just came through 20 minutes of doing a stretch on a chair because I don't feel, now this is the odd thing, I don't feel stable enough, like balanced on my feet to be able to do the stretching like we used to do it. Like kind of put a hand out, grab your back of your shoe or your sock and stretch your thigh muscles out. I don't feel like my knees are strong enough anymore to stand on one leg straight, put the other one out and stretch, my calf. So I don't know about you, but for myself, this has kind of rocked my boat a little bit, and not in a good way. I couldn't believe how minimal my range of motion is. When you put your knee up over your leg, put your ankle up over your opposite knee and you move forward. So, okay, I'm here. So now I'm here. That's as far as I could go. And it's stretching, it's pulling in there. So I don't know. Do you stretch? Do you do anything for your body? You know, I sadly to say, I have come to a point in my life where I barely or rarely even work out. I was kind of getting into classes, going on a lunchtime, getting into classes, and then my daughter showed up from Australia, so that took a back seat because I would go have my lunch with her and my granddaughter. They're gone now, and I'm ready to go back to the classes. But then I called the place, and they said, "Well, there's no classes right now from that specific instructor until maybe sometime in August, maybe the end of. We don't know." So I'm so like PO'd at myself that I didn't give myself the opportunity or the chance to keep moving. I'm one of those people who, I don't even know what year it was, maybe 2000s. Yeah, maybe the 2000s. My youngest was about 2 or 3. So, yeah, that's like 30, 29 years ago, 28 years ago. I I just happened to go to, now this is how low and bad I felt about myself. I was extremely overweight at that time in my life after having my third child. I think the highest weight I ever reached was 265 pounds, maybe. And it didn't really show on the outside because I knew how to dress to hide it. And I'm tall for a woman, most people say. I'm 5'7". But I knew I needed to start moving because I was not fitting any of my big girl clothes anymore. I didn't feel good. I was young, like I said, I was in my late 20s, I believe. I was about 29 or 30. And I just didn't pay attention to me. I had 3 children. I had a newborn. I was busy keeping a house, trying to get all these kids organized to go to school every day. So it's quite the throwback for me to think about all those times that there was just no time for me to think about me, to take care of me. There was no time for me. And I didn't think that was odd. I didn't even think about it. So it wasn't a thought process I had, right? So I got through that phase of my life, and then when my youngest was about I don't even know how old, 5 maybe. So in my early 30s, I knew I had to do something. I had started to walk around the block, and I would do 5-10 minutes, and then after 4 or 5 days I'd do another 5, and then I would keep adding on minutes every few days, 4 to 5 days, and then I would add on how far I would go. Like I would go around this horseshoe, and then I would go around the next one, and then I would go a little bit further, and so I kind of just eased myself into walking. And I had started to lose weight, but then I realized it was my diet. At that time, I don't know how I could have done it, because I think about it now and I go like, if I have like a small bag of chips, I'm kind of like, okay, well, that's good. I'm happy with that. But at that time, I was eating like a full bag of chips every day and a 2-liter soda. So I knew, like intrinsically my body knew that I needed to stop doing that, but intellectually I didn't. So that's where I started to learn to listen to the intellect of my body. So my body knows what it needs, what it doesn't need, and what it wants and what it doesn't want. I wasn't very aware of that at the time. So after I had started walking and it was starting to become winter time now, I thought like I have to go in somewhere, I have to do something else. So I went and I found this aerobics class. It was, I don't know, no, it wasn't a chair fitness class. It was an aerobics class for people 50 and over. I wasn't 50 and over, I was in my early 30s, but I didn't feel I had that capacity to just go and do these movements, and like, who the hell did I think I was, right? So I called the place and I said, listen, I'm not in my 50s. I'm not even 40. I'm like not even 30, 31. I don't think I was 31, maybe 30. Yeah, maybe I was 33, maybe. Anyway, I said, I'm just starting. I don't really know if this is for me, but can I try the class? And they said, yeah, sure, you can try the class. So I went and I tried the class, and I kept going because I had little kids, so I was home with them. They were all in nursery and kindergarten by then, or even in the higher grades. But anyway, I didn't work in the mornings at that time. So I started to go to this class, and as time went on, I really enjoyed it, and I found that I could really do the positions properly, the movements properly. I paid attention to like the timing, and I started to notice that the timing was like 8-4, 8-4, or 4-4-8. Like, so there's specific ways that you do your timing when you do aerobics fitness classes. So at some point, the instructor came up to me and she said, Shirley, you've been here for a while now, and I've been watching you, and you're really doing well. And she said, did you ever think of becoming an instructor? And there's so much in this story. There's so many different little nuggets of awareness that now I have when I think back to it. And I looked at her and intrinsically said to me, you could never do that. As if you could do that. Like, come on. So I said to her, no, I don't think I could do that. Like, I said the words that my little Esmeralda, my little witch inside, was saying to me, right? And if anyone's name is Esmeralda, I apologize. It's just the name that comes to my mind for that. She said, I really think maybe you should look into that. And I thought, okay, maybe I will. So I start calling around, and I called a YMCA or YMCA, I think. And I just kind of went for a tour. I spoke with the instructor who taught the ins and outs of aerobics fitness. And, you had to learn the physiology of the body and all those things. I started to go to the classes in the evenings. Now remember, I had 3 little kids. Um, I think their father was still working daytimes at that time, so I was able to go in the evenings. So I completed the courses and I started this aerobics class. And I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much that I thought, wow, in the summertime, why don't I do an aqua fitness class? Because at the time, my community had an actual outdoor pool. So I said to the head of this club that I was at, like, would you let me do aqua fitness classes in the summer if I get certified? And they said, sure, you could do that. So I went back to school and I got the aqua fitness instructing training, how everything works in the water, the the momentum and the how, what is it called, inertia, I think, like when you're going so fast and you stop, like you make like a weight of water behind you. I think that's what it was called. And that, like, in the water, there's absolutely no pressure on your joints. So if you're arthritic or you're pregnant or you just have hip problems or arm problems, when you're under the water, there's no pressure on your joints. So you have a range of motion that's really, really bigger than normal, and you can literally pop a joint. So I was so active, I became a personal trainer. And I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to stop doing this. So after I don't know what happened, and I think I started to go to university, and I stopped doing the classes because I couldn't do everything. I was doing these classes in the evening, I was making fast suppers for my family, and then the next day I'm getting up and I'm putting them in at their schools, and then I'm going to school, and then come back and do it all over again. It was just, enough. And there was a part of me that kept saying, you can do it, you could do it. And now if you watch my last video, I'm talking about that male energy that my father instilled in me. It worked. I needed that at different points in my life, but for this, no, I had to take a step back and say, I can't do this. Like, so something had to give. So what gave was the classes, because I wanted to get my degree. And my degree had absolutely nothing to do with physiology or body movement or strength training or anything like that. It was like a human relations degree. And then I did like a 2-year stint at a business school for management. So I got that after a very long time because I had to end up going to one course a semester. So it took me actually years to get my degree. Anyway, the point is, I was so fit. I ended up hiring this bodybuilder, this woman. I think her last name was Tremblay, Suzanne Tremblay, I think. She still weight trains at sometimes when I go to the gyms out of my community. That woman is so fit. And I said to her one day, would you train me? And she said, yep, I'll train you. But you have to be here at 5:30 every morning. So I stopped doing the evening classes for my aerobics instructing, and I went and I started to bodybuild with her. I didn't do it to go on stage and do contests and all that stuff. I did it to shape my body to get strong, and it worked. And I did it for, God, about 8 years maybe. She trained me for about 1 year, maybe a year and a half, and then I just kept going on my own. And I absolutely loved every part of bodybuilding. It was just so focused, and the only thing, and it was focused, it built strength and stamina, and it gave me a lot of confidence and a lot of energy. So good energy, right? The only thing I never did right with that was I didn't clean up my diet. And if I would have cleaned up my diet a long time ago on a real clean scale, I probably would never have become like overweight and ended up like on blood pressure meds and stuff like that. But at one point, my doctor had said to me, she pointed out that because I was so muscular that my heart was probably having a hard time to push the blood through my body. So it was working harder because I had so much muscle that it was had to force harder to get the blood through my body or something like that. So she said, we're not going to put you on medication. We're just going to, what do you call that? Observe it or follow it or whatever. So all those years of doing all that stuff that I never thought I could do, I never had the confidence to do. It's like, even though I had biceps and I had these traps out here and I was like this and I had these like hard as a rock triceps and calves and I had these, you know, my thigh muscles were like strong and like serrated. You could see everything. I never got rid of like my midsection because I never cleaned up my diet. So that was a problem. However, I did realize that I didn't stretch. And I was always sore at that time because I weight trained so much and I was using such heavy weights for a woman that I never stretched and I was really like overly sore. So now I realize that if I would have stretched, I probably would have not gotten injuries, number one. I probably would never have gotten injured. And I also probably would have stuck with it longer because I was always sore. But doing this now, this little stretch that I did this morning, I can't believe how tight my ligaments and my muscles are. My joints are so tight. It literally hurt to lift my knee, my foot up onto my opposite knee and lean forward. In my hip, it hurt. So, I don't know. Is it just me? Like, does everybody stretch? I don't understand. It's like, my health was terrible. I got in really great shape. And in the last 10 years, since maybe 2016, I have barely trained. It's 10 years. 9 years, I guess. Yeah, it's 9 years. And I don't even understand why. It's the best thing for us, you know? And now, like, I have a bike at home. I have weights at home. I have bands at home. I have everything. I have the space to stretch. I have no excuses. And here I am, though, still wondering why I'm so tight and all of these things. All this to say that I think that I would like to go back to aerobics fitness and teach classes. I don't know why that's here in my head, but that's here in my head. It's so strange. I think I'm starting to feel like there's a whole part of my life that I missed, and I kind of want to make up for it. Well, not make up for it, but I want to relive it for whatever little bit of time I have left on this plane, in this earth side. I went to a Barry Manilow concert, like, I don't know how many weeks ago, but oh my God, I went by myself and I had the best time. And I don't know, is it just me that's starting to, it's not so much nostalgia as it is, I want to have fun. I want to live. I want to go to these concerts and of the old people like me, right? We were dancing in the aisles. It was amazing.